Can start Vinny Madhaprabhu? Okay. So we'll start with the prayers. Om Agyan Dimirandasya Gyananjana Sadakya Chakshurunmritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manomishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupadamayyam Dadati Sapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Uta Padgamram Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitamsha नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्ण पृष्ठा भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी नामने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पासाद देशतारणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्नाय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामने गौरसे नमः हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगत्पते गोप्य गोपिका कंदराध नमस्ते सप्तकांचन गौरांगी श्रीराधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वसुभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये लीलाचल निवासाय नित्य परमात्मा ने बलभद्र सुभद्राभ्याम जगन्नाथाय ते नमः जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण. So we'll begin with chapter number 7 to 12 today. So in chapter number 7 to 12, so I'll just tell the synopsis of 7 to 12. So in chapter number 7 and chapter number 8, we'll discuss about mixed devotion service. So chapter number 7, we'll discuss about, there's one verse about pure devotion service. Apart from that, there will be discussion about Karma Misra Bhakti and Jnana Misra Bhakti. Chapter number 8 would be discussing about Yoga Misra Bhakti. Chapter number 9 and chapter number 10 would be, we would be discussing about pure devotion service, Suddha Bhakti. Chapter number 10, we have Chaturshloki Bhagavad Gita, which is the essence of whole Bhagavad Gita. Chapter number 11 will discuss about universal form. And in chapter number 12, among devotees also there are various gradations. So those gradations would be discussed. Qualities of the devotees would be discussed. So that would be discussed in chapter number 12. So we'll see how mixed devotion service leads to Salok and other muktis, and how pure devotion service is required to go back to Golok Vrindavan or come very near to Lord Narayan. So we'll discuss all these things. So these 6 central chapters of Bhagavad Gita, they are compared to the essence of Bhagavad Gita, or as we had discussed before also. Maybe I can show the, let us see. Okay, I'll just tell. So we had already discussed at that time that Bhagavad Gita is compared to a jewel box. So among them, the middle 6 chapters are compared to the jewel, because they discuss about bhakti. So for 2 reasons, we put a jewel in the jewel box. First reason is to preserve the jewel. Similarly, if you have Bhagavad Gita, even if the beginning pages and last pages are lost, at least central pages would remain. First reason. Second reason is we put the jewel in a jewel box because jewel looks even more beautiful in a jewel box. So similarly, when bhakti is compared to karma, jnana, yoga, then we will understand how bhakti is so glorious. So these are the basic reasons why it is compared to jewel box. And in the middle 6 chapters also, chapter number 9 and 10 are considered very important because they discuss about pure devotion service. In chapter number 9 and 10 also, the 4 slokas of 10th chapter, which are called Chatis Shloki Bhagavad Gita, they are considered extremely important. So that is the whole synopsis of the middle 6 chapters. So before we begin with the middle 6 chapters, I would like to show some PPT. So like for first 6 chapters, I clearly told, if you don't remember the graph, you can understand first 6 chapters. So we discuss everything through that graph. Similarly, for middle 6 chapters, I'm going to show one again tree diagram. All devotees are supposed to mug up by heart and understand it. If you don't understand that, you will understand very little about middle 6 chapters. Okay, so just a minute, I'll share with all of you. So this is a PPT, which is extremely important, the whole chart. If you do not understand this chart, we will not understand the flow of Bhagavad Gita. So I'll explain it one by one. And any question, any doubt is there with the devotees, please ask me. Because if you don't understand this chart, it will be, you'll get very less from middle 6 chapters. So bhakti is of 3 types. Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti, Guna Bhuta Bhakti, and Kevala Bhakti. It is called Suddha Bhakti, Ananya Bhakti, Akinchan Bhakti, Uttam Bhakti. This is same. Basically pure devotion service. Now Guna Bhuta Bhakti, in Guna Bhuta Bhakti, Guna itself means 3 modes of material nature. So Guna Bhuta Bhakti means other yogas which are composed of 3 modes of material nature, they are pretty prominent, and bhakti is only secondary. That means one practices bhakti just to get success in other yoga systems. So that is the main reason. So whatever yoga we had discussed till now, in all of them also, along with that, they have to practice bhakti in order to become successful, as we had discussed before also many times. So that's why bhakti is a secondary element, whereas their own practices of karma yoga, jnana yoga, ashtanga yoga, etc. are very, very predominant or dominating. So these people, they don't desire Krishna or Lord Narayan or relationship with them. These people rather desire other things like bhukti. They want to enjoy this world or higher planetary systems. Or they may desire mukti. Mukti means liberation. For whatever efforts they are making, they want to merge in Brahman. But since they don't desire to have relationship with the Supreme Lord, they are not classified as bhaktas, although they are practicing some sort of bhakti, which is called Guna Bhuta Bhakti. So people who are karma yogi, jnana yogi, ashtanga yogi, about whom we had discussed in first 6 chapters, all fall in this category of Guna Bhuta Bhaktas. So we have to distinguish them very, very clearly. See, Pradhana Bhuti Bhakta or Suddha Bhaktas, Keval Bhaktas, the difference they have from Guna Bhuta Bhaktas is these personalities, other people practicing other bhakti, they desire relationship with the Supreme Lord. Whereas Guna Bhuta Bhaktas, they don't desire any sort of relationship with the Supreme Lord. So that is the difference. So this should be kept in mind. Now, since they are also practicing bhakti along with their process of yoga, they will get their desired result, but there won't be any preservation or elevation in bhakti. What is meaning of preservation or elevation of bhakti is that they won't build their relationship with the Supreme Lord because they don't desire it anyway. For an example, those who are now certainly most of the devotees are software engineers. Okay, so we can give that example, which is more relevant for them. So when you work in a company, sometimes you have to go to other companies, or you can say clients or whatever name you take. So then you may meet with them. Sometimes, certainly our devotee don't drink tea, but whatever you may drink, maybe you drink milk with them. So you associate with them because you know that you have to make relationship for getting some work done. So we converse with them, we have some relationship with them. But then, as soon as the work is finished, we don't care for them. Care for them in the sense that we don't now afterwards talk to them and not build more relationship with them. Because company has said work for this particular company or for this client, we are working for them, and then things are over. We don't care. But when we are making relationship with someone else, let us say boy and girl are just married and they enter a family life, case is not like that. They both try to understand each other and try to build relationship with each other. So when they may be, let us say again, drinking the milk together, but then the purpose is also to understand each other. So purpose is not same. Purpose is to build the relationship as the years pass. So similarly, these Guna Bhuta Bhakta, they don't care for bhakti or make relationship with the Lord. They just care for getting their things done, and for that they take support of bhakti. Like one may take shelter of relationship just to get work done from the or work for the client. That's all. So it is as good as that. So that is comes in the category of Guna Bhuta Bhakta. So we have words like Neha Vikramana Swasti Pratyavanu Vidyate Salpambi Asa Dharmasya Trate Bhayatu Bhayat. So Salpambi Asa Dharmasya Trate Bhayatu Bhayat. Now that bhakti especially is preserved only for those who desire relationship with the Lord, not for those who don't care for the Lord. So this is about Guna Bhuta Bhakta. Anybody has any question which they are not able to understand, please don't feel shy, ask. Otherwise, no, you may not understand later also.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I think Gunabhuta Bhakti means they will perform, they will just do bhakti for the, and they will take that as a instrument for doing their main activities. Is that right, Prabhuji?
Yes, you can say like that.
Thank you.
So they want to achieve their own goal, and for that they use bhakti in one sense. Okay.
After that, they will stop doing bhakti, or they will just
no, they generally stop. Nasi, let us say they enter in Brahman. There is no question of doing bhakti in Brahman.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Or they go to higher planetary system. They enjoy sense gratification. They don't care for bhakti. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Yes. Yes. Ask whoever is asking, please ask.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dandavat Pranam. Prabhu, last box, could you please explain again, Prabhu? They get their desired result, but no reservation.
Yes. So that let us say there are Gyanis who want to merge in Brahman. So they will merge in Brahman, but they will not get bhakti in the sense that they will not have any relationship with the Supreme Lord. Like I was giving the same example of a client. When a software engineer goes out to work with the client, he may build some temporary relationship with him. Or let us say, I'll give example for Mataji's. Mataji have to go out for purchasing sabji. So in some sabji market, no, you may speak sweetly with some shopkeeper because no, the shopkeeper, if we talk sweetly, he may reduce some price. But then the purpose is not, you want to build relationship because you want to get some money less. You want to get a thing cheaper. But when somebody is in the home, with them, with our family members, when we make relationship or invest time, the purpose is to make a stronger relationship. So similarly, they also don't desire to have relationship with the Lord. They use bhakti for getting their own goal. Is that clear now? Okay, seems clear. Okay, someone else was also asking a question.
Arikshna Prabhuji, Dhanyavad Pranam Prabhu. Prabhu here,
Yes.
Gunabhuta Bhakti people, they'll take shelter means how we can understand, Prabhu. Just for time being, they'll go to temple and they'll do all the religious things, and once they achieved whatever they want, then they'll leave, or how, Prabhu, here?
See, they don't care after that. It's like, once you get let us say you make relationship with a shopkeeper to get things little cheaper. Once you get things, purchase the things, then things end there. So similarly here also, once they achieve, they don't care. Now one of their philosophy is Chaitanya Path Sankar Mat. That means I follow philosophy of Shankaracharya, but it is very dry. It doesn't give us much juice. So Chaitanya Path, I will come and do Sankirtan Hare Krishna Mahamantra, and I will dance with the devotees. But then ultimately I want to become God. So then these people are using bhakti. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thanks, Prabhu.
So certainly this case of Mayavadis, they are not even Gyanis. But those who are Gyanis, they want to emerge in Brahman, they worship the Lord, they may chant Hare Krishna also. Okay.
Prabhu,
Okay, fine.
so Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Prabhu,
In the Gunabhuta Bhakti, in the last diagram, last point, they get desired result, but no preservation. What is that? I'm not able to see.
Elevation. Elevation.
Yes. Or elevation in Bhakti. You mean to say no preservation, no elevation, or they may progress? Either
No. No preservation. No preservation nor elevation.
No
I would
elevation.
say.
No elevation, right? Okay.
Yes.
I thought no preservation, or some people may turn into elevate. I thought, okay.
You can say no preservation nor elevation.
Okay.
Neither preservation nor elevation. Maybe I can correct it.
Got it.
Neither preservation nor elevation.
Super. Thank you. Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Sorry. Prabhu, as per 2.40, Swalpamapyasya dharmasya mahato bhayatma, Prabhu. That means if they did some little bhakti also, they are getting the result of that bhakti, no, Prabhu? No.
See, there when we say Swalpamapyasya dharmasya mahato bhayat, there Prabhupada explains that they are free from the greatest danger, that is to glide down on the lower species. At the same time, the other thing is, even if somebody does little bit, it is preserved. So what is preserved for a devotee is a bhakti, whereas for karmis, jnani, yogi, that bhakti is not preserved. This is an explanation given by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his commentary.
But it's not for other than devotees. Only for devotees, that is preserved, as per Vishwanath Chakravarti.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay, fine. So now we'll go to the second one. So that is second one which we are discussing is Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti. Pradhani Bhuta Bhakti is also called mixed devotion service. So again, by Sanskrit words, we can understand a lot of things. See, Guna Bhuta Bhakti means modes of material nature are prominent, then it's called Guna Bhuta. Pradhani Bhut means Bhakti is Pradhan, means it is prominent. It's predominating. So Bhakti is predominating, whereas somebody may be having some other desires also. but their main goal is to make relationship with the Supreme Lord. So what are they desiring? They want to have relationship with either Lord Narayan or Lord Vishnu or Krishna. But at the same time, they have some other inclinations also. Then it is called mixed devotion service. And those inclinations don't allow them to practice pure devotion service. So we'll discuss them one by one. So these are three types: Karma Mishra Bhakti, this is also called sometimes Sakam Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, and Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Now this Karma Mishra Bhakta, he is different from Karma Yogi, because Karma Yogi doesn't desire relationship with the Supreme Lord, whereas Karma Mishra Bhakta does desire relationship with the Supreme Lord. So these are three types. That we will discuss when we discuss 10.16, but I will just say concisely. So these are the three types: Artho, Jigyasu, Arthati. Artho means somebody comes in distress. So he wants to have relationship with the Supreme Lord. At the same time, because he is very distressed, he has come to the Supreme Lord. See, this fellow is not just coming to what do we say, get rid of the distress. That is not the only goal. He also has a goal, or he also desires to have a relationship with the Supreme Lord. That's why he doesn't go to anyone else. He will not go to Durga and here and there, or Lord Shiva or anyone. He comes to direct Krishna directly, because he desires that relationship with the Supreme Lord. At the same time, he wants to get rid of the distress also. Now, because there is a great desire to get rid of distress, he is not able to exactly work only for the pleasure of Lord. Same thing with Jigyasu. Jigyasu means those who have inquisitiveness. So such people may read Bhagavad Gita, but one of the purpose of Bhagavad Gita may also be to understand Sanskrit. So I have seen many times, people come. One of the persons came to me and told that, no, I want to read your or attend your Gita class. I told, why? He told, because I want to learn Sanskrit. So then the purpose is also fine. They want to get Krishna, but then they have a lot of inquisitiveness of the scriptures here and there. And such inquisitiveness doesn't allow them to just work for the pleasure of the Lord. Jigyasu. Third is Artharthi. Artharthi means they want money. So they want relationship with the Lord, but they want money also. So such people, one good quality is that whenever they want money, they'll go to Tirupati Balaji only. They'll not go here and there. At the same time, because money is ringing in the background, when they go to Tirupati Balaji, that darshan may not be just to make relationship with the Lord. It's to pray to the Lord now. So what comes in the mind is money, not the form of the Lord. So that is how their bhakti becomes mixed. So that's Artho, Jigyasu, Artharthi. What is the result these people get? The result these people get is they get their desire fulfilled. At the same time, they also get Salokya Mukti. They get an opportunity to stay on the planet of Lord Vishnu or Lord Narayan. So that's quite a big gift for them as compared to the mixture they have. Okay, Paramananda Rajkumar.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Say suppose their desires are not fulfilled, is there, will they continue because their prime motive is like, you said it regarding other thing. So their prime motive is money. Say suppose their desire is not fulfilled, will they continue or will come back, Prabhu? Or they go to other demigods?
No, they will come back here only because they also desire to have relationship with the Lord.
Generally, the general tendency is if something we desire, our desires are fulfilled, generally will tend to move along with them. If it is not fulfilled, so they will move, no Prabhu. Like that, I just thought.
So then they can't be counted as artharthi. Then they can't be counted as artharthi. So when we are counting here, we are counting a particular definition. So this is the definition of the people who also desire to have relationship with the Lord, along with having some material desires.
That means they can understand that Lord has bigger plan. So this time you may not be giving, but next time you will give. Like that, their understanding will be.
Yes. See, actually, what happens is Lord is also very clever, because see, Lord also wants people to practice bhakti. So what Lord does is, Lord is a very big game player. So what he does is, and a new person comes, he wants money, he will give money. If he doesn't give money, what will happen is this fellow will go to someone else. He'll go to some Sai Baba or Amma Bhagwan, Appa Bhagwan, somewhere he'll go. So he'll give money when he's new person. He will keep on giving money till this fellow becomes very attached to the Lord. If he has become sufficiently attached that even if Lord doesn't give money, he doesn't go here and there. Then Lord will say, okay, now I have to purify you. Then Lord does is, then Lord sees if this money is distracting him away from himself. Rather than giving money, you may go for asking money. Krishna may take away your original money also. That's what Prabhupada would say, no, yes, Hamanugranami Harisita Dhanansana. In that verse, Prabhupada writes, that purport it is given. So then Lord may take up, because that is becoming your impediment to go closer to Krishna. And once money doesn't remain an impediment for going closer to Krishna, one is thoroughly dependent on Krishna. Then Lord may give so much, because he knows that this money will not be a cause of obstacle in bhakti. It will be cause of elevating in bhakti. You know, one gets the ability to fully use the money in Krishna service. So that's why Lord is very intelligent when to give and when not to give. So he progresses in the relationship very slowly. So it's not just one side, it's both the side. But main thing is, if somebody doesn't have that like, that he's not so fixed on the Supreme Lord, like he's not fixed on Balaji or some other form of Lord Vishnu or Krishna, then you can't count him as a Artharthi. Then he's going to Balaji, and now he may be going to other places also. He may be going to some Devi or some other Ganeshji or here and there 10 places. So then you can't call him Artharthi. Then he's a demigod worshipper. Okay.
The source for these definitions and think, Prabhu, say Pradhani, it is not given in.
This is all given by Vishnu. This is all given by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur. Okay.
Alokya Mukti also, it is there in Chakravarti Thakur.
Yes. This whole chart is by Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur.
Thank you.
Okay, Prabhakar Prabhu.
Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, Guna Bhakti people, they'll go to Krishna as well as demigods, everywhere they'll go, Prabhu, till their desire is reached, or how, Prabhu, here?
So till their desire, as soon as desires are fulfilled, they have nothing to do with anyone. Okay.
Yes, Prabhu. So, and one more, if it comes to Pradhana Bhuta Bhakti, so they have both desire and even they need money also, but still why, they don't have, desire to reach Krishna, Prabhu, till why, in the middle itself, they'll try to drop because of money, or how, Prabhu, here?
I couldn't understand. Can you explain it more elaborately?
No. Pradhana Bhuta Bhakti people, they have a desire to reach Krishna. Also, they need money. Both, right?
They ask for both the things.
Okay, so why, they were unable to reach Krishna? So since they're, looking for money, because of that, they'll drop in the middle, or how, Prabhu? Or they'll reach
they won't drop in between. What happens for these people is, they say, my dear Lord, I want to be happy in this world also. I want to be a rich person also in this world. At the same time, I want to come back to you. I'll give one example. It will be very clear. Certainly, one example is example of Dhruv Maharaj. So, He says now, what is the sthana bilasi tapasi sito ham tam praptavan deve munindra guhyam kachan vichinvan api divyaratnam swami gritharto asmi varam na yache. So he prays that sthana bilasi sthana bilasi. So I had a desire to get sthan or a place. What is that place? Greater than that of Brahma. I want a planet. But then what happened is, Tam praptavan deva munindra guhyam. I got you who is not achieved by devas, demigods, big munis, Indra. None of these people get, but I got you. So Kachan Vichinvan Abhi Devaratnam. I was wanting some broken piece of glass, but then I got you a jewel. So suddenly he got Lord Vishnu, although he had material desires, but what happened is 36,000 years he had to rule in this world. Then he was allowed to go to Dhruvaloka. So the point is there is a delay. There is a delay. To the degree mixture is there is a delay. So slowly even these people also, they get rid of their desires as soon as they get their things, because they are also getting a higher taste of bhakti along with that. But then there is a delay. To the degree there is a mixture, to that degree there is a delay. Like I know one of the devotees, one college pass out. So somehow he got connection of Amrish Prabhu, all Amrish Prabhu, Alfred Ford. So he called him for the program in the college and somehow Amrish Prabhu agreed also. And while developing relationship with him, so suddenly he came to a point of saying that, no, Prabhu, I want to become devotee like Amrish Prabhu. So I thought, no, you want to become humble like them, or no, you want to have a taste for holy name like him. So yes, Prabhuji, but apart from that, I also want to get money like him. So this is called devotion service. So you're not getting attracted by Vaishnava qualities of a person, but also the material side. Okay. So then such people may all get Krishna, but then there is a detour. One gets diverted. One's efforts are diverted. Okay. This is about Artharto Jigyasu Artharthi. This Karma Misra Bhaktas. Similarly, there are Paramanand Prabhu still has a question.
Bro, sorry, bro. Yes, Prabhu. After at the end of their life, they go to Salokya Mukti. They'll go to Lord's planet, Prabhu. So there also they will be doing service, or they will be interested in money.
No, they're not interested in money. They'll go to the Lord's planet. They will do service, everything, but they don't get very close association of the Lord. That is their loss for them. So Samipya. So we know Salok, Sashti, Samipya, Sarupya kama hota. So there is a Sayuj, anyway devotees don't desire. Salok is planet, staying in the planet of the Lord, that they may get. They may even get Sarup or Samip also, quite possible. Getting 400 form of the Lord, or Samip in the sense that, Sashti means they may get opulence like the Lord. But Lord doesn't allow such people to stay very near to him. Samipya. So if you want to become very close associate of the Lord, then one has to practice Shuddha Bhakti only. That is the difference. Because unless until one has that unadulterated love and affection for the Lord, Lord will not make you his own family member, although you can stay in his planet. So staying in the planet of the Lord itself is quite a big in the sense that achievement, but then you won't become the family member. You want to become family member, go very close to the Lord, then Shuddha Bhakti is required. Okay.
That means among four muktis, Samipya Mukti is the highest.
Among four of them, Samipya is the highest.
So remaining and all, these people will get Salokya, Sarishti, and
Sarupya. Yeah.
Not only Salokya, remaining two also they will get.
They may get, it's not exactly given. Vishnu Sakitava is not given all the description, and I don't have opportunity to ask him questions now. So I can't ask him. But at least I can understand that even they may get other two also, quite possible. Okay. Kalyan too?
Prabhu, as a devotee, the end state will be what kind of these 5 liberations, what kind of state they will reach, Prabhu, as a devotee? Like what we do bhakti, right? Under our parampara, prema, anuraga bhakti, right? We do, right?
See, if you want to get Vraja Prem, then you have to practice pure devotion service also, only. There's no question of make devotion service.
Okay.
Nobody can enter Golok Vrindavan by practicing Pradhanabhuti Bhakti. No possibility.
So the person want to reach Golok Vrindavan, what kind of bhakti we need to do here? Center, okay. Kevala, Suddha, Ananya. Okay.
That we'll discuss. Okay.
Okay. So just one question, bro. I understand. So the person who perform pure devotional service, they will rise to above this 4 muktis, right? Like Salokya, Samikya, Sarupya. Above, right? Above this, right?
He may either get Samipya, become very close to the Lord in Vaikuntha. If he wants. Okay. Or if you want Vrata Prem, then also one has to practice pure devotion service. So by practicing pure devotion service, if one desires to go to Vaikuntha and be close associate of the Lord, it is possible. Or one desires to go to Golok Vrindavan, that is also possible.
Okay, so desire to go Goloka Vrindavan. So how we need to compare with the kinds of liberations?
See, it is above all the liberation.
Above all, okay. Thank you. That is what I wanted to get.
Yes. Other sort of liberation, they are more meant for Vaikuntha Vasis.
Okay. So what we call this liberation, Prabhu? I know that there is no name like this all 4.
We say Prema Pumartha Mahan.
Okay.
Or Pancham Purusartha. So we talk all these things. But main thing is, even if somebody is having, if you see definition wise, if you see that Salokya, somebody is having in the planet of Golok Vrindavan, he may be a tree in Golok Vrindavan. But trees in Golok Vrindavan are not like the trees in Vaikuntha. Trees in Golok Vrindavan, they have a personal relationship with the Lord. Like Madhan Puri, he's a Kalpa Vriksha. But he is a Kalpa Vriksha who's in Madhura Ras.
Okay.
He's witnessing the very intimate pastimes of Radha and Krishna, in which even mandiris are not allowed. What to say of gopis?
Okay.
So private pastimes only gopis are allowed. More private mandiris are allowed. Our Rup Goswami, Sanatan Goswami, they are mandiris. Most primate only Madhavendra Puri is allowed. So even trees of Golok are not like ordinary. They are different from Vaikuntha trees.
Okay. Thanks, bro. Here, bro.
Now coming to second type, that's called Jnana Misra Bhakti. Now this is different from Jnani who wanted to merge in Brahman. So these people, they want Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the same time, they also have a predominance of Aswara Bhav and predominance of or covering of Jnana process. Such a person may spend a lot of time in just figuring out the 24 elements. He may dwell more in that than relishing chanting, reading, hearing with the devotees. So devotees may also do count 24 elements, discuss about them, but then all these things should ultimately culminate in getting more absorption in chanting of the holy name and Krishna Katha, Hari Katha, Hari Nam, and Vaishnava Seva. So such people, maybe during japa time, I'm just telling a imaginary example to understand. You may find one day now japa time, especially brahmacharya are supposed to attend whole Mangal Arati, Narsingha Arati and Patsi Arati and then do japa. And you find one particular Jnana Misra Bhakta brahmachari. No, instead of chanting japa, he may be sitting somewhere and reading Sankhya Yoga. And say, no, Prabhuji, by the time it becomes night, I'll complete somehow 16 rounds, you don't worry about that. But no, I'm getting a lot of taste in that. So then what is happening is, his absorption in Sankhya Yoga is not allowing him to become fully absorbed in the process of devotion service. Yeah, so when we'll read a Nectar of Devotion, we'll discuss more in detail. So it's called Gyan Karmadi Anavritam. It's not Gyan Karmadi Sunyam, but Gyan Karmadi Anavritam. Practice of Varnashram or counting of 24 elements, etc., should not cover one's practice of pure devotion service. If it starts covering, it becomes Gyan Mishra Bhakti. Okay. So then such people, what happens for them? They may get Santrati. So the example of Chatuskumara is there. So Chatuskumara, they went to Vaikuntha, just they were moving around somehow. They were cursed they cursed Jai Vijay. But when Jai Vijay, rather than retaliating or counter cursing, accepted the curse and fell at their feet and begged forgiveness, Chatuskumaras became very much attracted by the Vaishnava qualities of Jai Vijay. They said they had all power to counter curses. They can't be wrong, they're associates of the Lord. Despite that, they are so humble that they're accepting the curse. I want to become devotee like him. We want to become devotee like him. Both of them. As soon as they got that desire, immediately Lord Narayan came along with Lakshmi. And then the Tulsi leaves on the lotus feet of Lord Narayan entered. They saw that, they took darshan of that, and the aroma of those Tulsi leaves entered in their nostrils. Tasya Ravinda Nayanasya Padaravinda Injalka Misra Tulsi Makaranda Vayu Antaragata Savivarena Chakarate Sam Sanchobam Akcharajusam Apichitta Tanvo. So then suddenly that bhakti arose in their heart. But because they had cursed innocent Vaishnavas, so they could go up to Santarati. And also, because they are also Gyan Misra Bhaktas, so they get Santarati. Santarati means they may become plants and trees or different personalities in the Vaikuntha. But they will not get more higher rasas. But despite that, if they associate with devotees with higher rasas, they can get higher rasas also. And in case they meet with devotees who have prema bhakti, they can become prema bhaktas also. So asana of devotees can change anyone. It can change even Gunabhut Bhakta to a Suddha Bhakta or Pradhanibhut Bhakta to a Suddha Bhakta. So same thing happened with Sukadeva Goswami. Atma Ramasya Manyo Nirganti Api Arukrame Kurvanti Atkum Bhakti Ittam Bhut Guru Hari. He became attracted by qualities of Krishna spoken by the disciples of Vyasadeva, who appeared as woodcutters. So he heard about the qualities, he heard about the beauty of Krishna, and he heard about compassion of Krishna. Aho Bakiyam Stana Kalukutam, Jigam se api aside. Lebe gatem dhatrim chitam tatvanam kamva dayalum saranam vajama. That now even Krishna gave position of mother to Putana. So compassion. And then there is a verse, Barha Pidam Natavarapu Karnayo Karnikaram Vibratavasa Kanaka Kapi Samvajayantim Chamalam Randran Venuradar Sudaya Purayan Gopa Vrinde Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam Pravisad Gita Kirti. So there he heard about the description of beauty of Krishna. Baraha Pidam Natavarapu. He wears peacock feather, Natavarapu, dresses like a dramatic actor. Karnayor Karnikaram. He has a Karnikar flower in his ears. Vibratavasa Kanaka Kapisam. He has a golden dhoti. Vajantita Malam. He wears forest garland. forest flower garland. Randran Venu Adarasudaya. And he pours his nectar in the hole of a flute. And it acts like a fountain. The whole nectar spreads in the whole Vrindavan. Vrindaranyam Swapadaramanam. And Vrindavan is so important because their Lord doesn't wear footwear like in Vaikuntha or other places. So Vrindavan, one dust of Vrindavan or one speck of dust of Vrindavan is considered more valuable than the entire opulence of all Vaikuntha planets. Because it is personally touching the lotus feet of the Lord. Whereas in Vaikuntha, Lord wears sandals. He wears footwear. So that is how he became attracted. And then he heard Bhagavatam and he became a Premi Bhakta. So the point is that asana devotees can do anything, but in general, Jnana Bhakti leads to Santarati. Okay. Okay. Somebody had a question also. Somebody had a question. Okay. Nobody had a question. Paramanand Prabhu had a question. No. Okay. That's resolved, I think.
Prabhuji, sorry, Prabhu. This Jnana Misra Bhakti Bhaktas, that means 4 Kumaras and Sukadeva Goswamis, actually they are Jnana Misra Bhaktas, but by the touch of pure devotees or mercy of the Lord, they have become like Prema Bhaktas.
Yeah, see, Sukadeva Goswami became a Premi Bhakta, and Chatus Kumaras, at least at that point of time when he just met with the Lord Narayan, that time still you can call him as Jnana Bhakta. Before that, they were not even Bhaktas, they were Jnanis only. But after meeting Lord Narayan, they are Jnana Bhaktas. And later on, due course of time, we don't know, their association and other things, they might have become pure devotees also. But at least at the point, we are talking about the point where they met Lord Narayan, that time they are categorized as Jnana Bhaktas. Okay. Okay. And then last one is Yoga Misra Bhaktas. Yoga Misra Bhaktas means they want to get Lord Narayan, they want to enter Vaikuntha, but by the practice of Ashtanga Yoga. So that's why the difference in the yogi who is mentioned in chapter number 6 and chapter number 8. Yogi in chapter number 8, we find is 2 destinations. One of them is the demigod worshipper. He wants to go to higher planetary system. But the second yogi is one who goes to Vaikuntha planet also. But why is called Yoga Misra Bhakta? Because rather than taking shelter of Sravanam Kirtanam, he takes shelter of Ashtanga Yoga. Yam, Niyam, Asan, Pranayam, Pittahar, Dharana, Dhyan, Samadhi. And that is why this yogi also takes a lot of time. You will find so many conditions are there for this yogi. So they get Saloka Mukti. So we find we have examples like, now I won't say because our acharyas have not given those examples, but still we can find personalities like Durvasa Muni or even Durvasa Muni later on became Guru of Krishna himself. He's called Guru of Krishna. He's the one who gave mantras to Yasoda. He is the one who gave the benediction of cooking anything and that will cure the people to Radharani. So he has quite a prominence or quite a participation in Vrajlila. But at the same time, we never find him not doing Sravanam Kirtan, we always find him not doing meditations. So we may categorize like that. But main thing, definition is very clear. They want to achieve Supreme Lord by the practice of Ashtanga Yoga. And they may be doing Sravanam Kirtanam sidewise, not as the main activity. Okay. So they are Pradhani Bhuti Bhakta. Anybody has a question they may ask if they didn't understand anything. If things are clear, then we'll move to the center one, Suddha Bhakta. Okay, fine. Seems things are clear. And the most cherished one or focused one is Kevala Bhakta, Suddha Bhakta, Ananya Bhakta, Kinchan Bhakta, Uttam Bhakta. They have same meaning. Keval means only, Suddha means pure, Ananya means no karma, no gyan, no yoga, only devotion service. Akinchan means no property except Krishna. Uttam means the best. So they all have same meaning. So this is called pure devotion service. This is unmixed with karma and gyan. So anya abhilasita sunyam. One doesn't have any other desire except to please Krishna. Gyan karmadi anavritam. One may practice varnasram, one may practice count 24 elements, but that never covers his practice of pure devotion service. That does never covers his Sravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. So that never hackness one Sravanam, Kirtanam, etc. So even in the 7th chapter, the first verse is the verse which talks about pure devotion service. 9th chapter, so practically whole chapter is about pure devotion service. And what is the result? Result is one becomes close associate of the Lord in different rasas. So even one goes to Vaikuntha, he can get Samipya. One, he can go very close to the Lord Narayan. Or one gets Vraja Prema. Vraja Prema comes only by practice of pure devotion service. Now we may ask that I also have desires in my heart. What about that? I also have material desires. Material desires don't disqualify one from pure devotion service. Asking Lord to fulfill those desires disqualifies you from pure devotion service. Make sense?
Prabhu, can you please repeat this last two sentences?
Yeah. Having material desire doesn't disqualify one from the practice of pure devotion service, but asking the Lord to fulfill those desires or having the motivation that I will practice bhakti by which my material desires will be fulfilled, having those motivations. So corruption and motivation disqualifies one from pure devotion service. So if devotees have material desires, what do? They pray like Prahlad Maharaj. Yadi dasasi me kaman varam stam varadhar sabha kamanam hridya samroham bhaktastu vanevaram. So what he says is that, my dear Lord, you are Varadhara Sabha, you are best of the benedictors. You can give any benediction. But I pray for only one benediction. What is that benediction? Kamanam hridya samroham bhaktastu vanevaram. Whatever material desires I have in my heart, destroy them. So devotees pray for destruction of material desires, not the fulfillment of material desires. Okay. So that even with all those things, one can be a Suddha Bhakta. So they're clear. So we discuss about Gunabhut Bhakta, Keval Bhakta, Pradhanibhut Bhakta. Any question on the whole chart you may ask. But this is very, very important. I request all the devotees to clearly understand it by hearted. Otherwise, we will not be able to analyze different aspects of chapter number 7 to 12. Okay, Uday Kiran Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Prabhu, that means we should not ask anything like a material desires somebody has. So we should not ask. So one of our acharyas also tells, if anything wants, if anything, even material desires also, if you want, you do the Krishna Bhakti. I mean, not like that motivation. If anything want, you come to me only. So don't go other like other demigods like that. So how we can understand Prabhu? Can you clarify this, Prabhu?
So by that, what will happen is at least one will not become a demigod worshipper, at least one will be called a bhakta. So it is as good as saying, better to become a pradhanibhut bhakta than to become a demigod worshipper. Make sense? It's better to become a pradhanibhut bhakta than to become a demigod worshipper. But just because you are pradhanibhut bhakta, you cannot say I am keval bhakta. To become keval bhakta, understand one thing. Krishna will do best for me even more than what I can do for myself. Every devotee should have that conviction. I can't think of better welfare for others or better welfare for myself. I can't do a better welfare for others or do a better welfare for myself than Krishna can do. Krishna loves us more than we love ourselves. Krishna loves others more than we love others. So devotees are supposed to have that faith. Why supposed to have it? It is truth. It's not that no, we are supposed to have it. It is truth. Bhoktaram yagitapasam sarvalokamaisaram suvirdam sarvabhutanam gyatavam santivrachiti. So Krishna is best well-wishing friend. What can we well-wish for others? We don't know only what is good for us. When we don't know what is good for us, that's the question of asking. Okay.
Yeah, that means you should not ask anything. Yeah.
You can ask for one thing. Then, my dear Lord, remove all material desires. I don't want any material desires.
Thank
So
you.
there's something you can ask. Okay.
Prabhuji,
Generally for new people, what we say, then new people come. Now that time we tell. Rather than going here and there to different demigods, go to Krishna. Fine. Right? Because of time, as the time passes, we should understand that we don't want to just stay in this material world. We want to ultimately have a relationship with Krishna. What to see of Kunti Maharani is no platform where she is asking, please give me misery so that I can get you. Vivda Sanduta Saswata Tata Jagat Guru Bhavdu Darsanam Yat Sad Apana Bhav Darsanam. So that's very far away. But at least that we should, at our platform we should understand that whatever Krishna is doing is best for me. Okay. And at least I have seen in my own little experience with the devotees, anybody who surrenders to Krishna doesn't have to meet with a misfortune. Like I was telling, so many brahmacharis, they come and we see that in due course of time they change their ashram, many of the people. But I have not seen a single person getting into too much difficulty. So in my own counseling, one of my counseling, around a year, one and a half year back, he changed. So, but he got a better salary than before. Earlier, when he left the job, he was getting something around not 25,000-30,000. Now, after staying in ashram for 2 years and then he changed, he's getting 50,000. Supposed to not get even the previous job. Another of my counseling, he stayed in ashram for 5 years. And then he suddenly got a desire, no, I want to do coding. And Brahmacharya ashram, you can't do coding for 6-7 hours. So some of our old taste for coding, got revived. So then, he tried for going to higher studies and do more analysis on artificial intelligence, etc. He got today only I got a message that Prabhuji, I got an offer of doing MS from Arizona State University. So that's like in computer science is even better than it's number 1 actually in US. So I saw devotees. I have never seen that devotees have any loss. If we are surrendered to Krishna without any ulterior motive, Krishna takes care. Okay. But certainly we should not have undue expectation. Undue expectation is sometimes devotees say, Prabhuji, he was a pure devotee, why did he die? Everybody has to leave the body. Nobody is permanent here. So such expectation cannot be there. If you have reasonable expectation, we see Krishna does the best. Okay, so last question, Narsimham Prabhu.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, you mentioned in Jnana Mishra Bhakti, so they get this Santartha and they become plants or trees in Vaikuntha. So by becoming plants and trees, how do they serve the Lord Prabhu? Means what do they do? Means maybe how do they actually serve the Lord? They go to Vaikuntha planets, they might see the Lord, but how to understand this, Prabhu, by becoming plants or trees in Vaikuntha?
So they don't have dasara, so they don't serve. What they think is, Lord is so great, how can we serve him? And actually speaking, that's the truth. Like for example, you may think that no, I'll cook for the Lord. But main thing is he's already having Radharani with him. What can we cook for the Lord? Similarly, we may think, no, I'll give this close to the Lord. No, it will give some soothing experience to the Lord. But Krishna's body is more tender than any of the clothes available in the world. So Nityananda Triyodasi is coming. Now we have Monday, we have Advaita Acharya's appearance and then Nityananda Triyodasi. So we find same thing with Lord Nityananda's mother, Padmavati. So she would bring softest of the clothes for Lord Nityananda from the market, but even those clothes were harder than the body of Lord Nityananda because he was so soft. She was trying to bring the best scented perfumed oils to massage his body, but then his body was more fragrant than any of the oils of the world. She would try to put the best of the ornaments on the body of Lord Nityananda, but his body was more beautiful than any of the ornaments. So that's the actual truth. We can't serve the Lord. And because of that, they become overwhelmed by seeing the Lord. The Lord is so opulent, so great, what can we serve him? So this Santas. Okay.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Okay, Abhiram bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Prabhuji, how a devotee can pray, remove all my material desires? We are still attached to material things so much, and we are doing services, we are preaching, maybe serving devotees, going to temples. We have many things attached. So how we can pray that remove all the material desires?
See, if you have faith that Krishna will do best for me, then where is the problem of having material desires? For example, when a child goes to home, he doesn't have to worry about whether I will get my meals or not. So you don't find a child going to home and asking mother, my dear mama, will you cook lunch for me? You just cook breakfast for me. Will you cook the lunch for me? I beg you, please cook lunch for me. Does child have to do that? Yes, Abhiram bro. Mother automatically takes care of the child. So similarly, we have Krishna as our loving father. If we are taking shelter of Krishna, why do we have to worry? So we can't be lazy. We can't be lazy in the name of pure devotion service. Oh no, I'll not do anything, just sleep and Krishna, I love you, and you provide everything. You're not loving Krishna, you're loving your lethargy.
Okay.
But if I'm working hard for Krishna, I'm trying to serve Krishna, I'm doing my duties properly, then I don't have to worry. Whatever is best for me, Krishna will provide. Okay?
But is the background we have the material desires, or we don't have material desires too?
We may have material desire, but we should see material desire as enemies, not as our friends. Like now, very clearly, I can say I have a lot of material desires even now. But then I pray, my dear Lord, I don't want this material desires. I want you. Okay. Paramananda Brajakumar.
In the chart, you have mentioned, besides this 7.16 sloka, 7.16 in the chart. So, may I know?
We'll discuss it. 7.6 is the artho of this Chaturja Bhajante Mam. We'll discuss it when we come to 7.16. Okay?
Yes, bro. And another thing, bro, Prahlad Maharaj, he is still in Sutala planet, right now, bro? Along with Bali Maharaj. So,
not as Bali Maharaj, along with Vamandev also. Vamandev is acting as a guard of Bali Maharaj, and he every day talks to Prahlad Maharaj. Okay, now you can ask her question.
Understood. I got the answer.
I understood. That's why what you were asking. That's why I gave it example. Okay. Very good. Fine. So now we'll come to chapter number 7. So, yeah. So we are getting a different Bhakti Sastrikas in different language. Which none of us are able to understand. So in the last verse of 6th chapter, Lord, in one sense, made a link. No, he spoke about pure devotion service. That among all the devotees, Shraddhavan bhajate umam samayukta tamamata. One who worships me, one who does my bhajan, which begins with Shraddha. That means he's talking about devotion service. Ado Shraddha, Sadhu Sang, Bhajan Kriya, Narthinivritti, etc. So then such a person is the best of all other yogis. Lord makes it very, very clear. And that makes you can say, a link between the chapter number 6 and chapter number 7, which is talking about devotion service. So chapter number 7 is called Knowledge of the Absolute. And some of the acharyas have also given the title Bhagavad Gyan Vigyan Yoga. So Gyan Vigyan Yoga. Gyan is knowledge, which talks about the powers of the Lord. And Vigyan is realization, that we realize the sweetness of the Lord. So this chapter talks about power and sweetness of the Lord. So what we will discuss in this chapter is basically powers of Krishna, because Lord is the personality who is really worthy of worship. Other people in this world are not worthy of worship. And then we'll discuss about 4 types of people who worship Krishna and 4 types of people who don't worship Krishna. So we'll discuss about all of them in chapter number 7. We'll discuss start with text number 1. And this verse is basically mentioning pure devotion service. Later on we'll enter in mixed devotion service. But first verse talks about pure devotion service. Sri Bhagavan Vacha Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madasraya Asamsyam Samagramam Yatha Gyasahita Srunu. Please read that translation.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, now here, O son of Pritha, how by practicing yoga in full consciousness of me, with the mind attached to me, you can know me in full, free from doubt. Krishna Prabhu.
Is one of the verses which is like among the most quoted verses by Srila Prabhupada. So that is how this particular verse is considered a very, very important verse. So we'll discuss a little bit about that, this verse. So bhakti is the only way to get liberation, not the sattvic knowledge or difference between body and soul. And this bhakti begins with tat sridhu, by hearing. So Krishna is basically talking about pure devotees hereby because he's telling Mai asakta mana. That means their minds are attached to me. Their minds are not attached to anything else. Mai asakta mana. Partha yogam yunjun madasraya. And they take shelter of the Lord. Asamsayam samagramam. And in this way, asamsayam, without any doubt. Samagram is complete. So in this way, completely they take shelter of the Lord. Yatha gyasahita sru. So you can know me in full, free from doubt. How? By hearing. Tasrinu. Try to hear. So Prabhupada talks a lot about hearing. And in the beginning paragraphs, he also talks about the summary of 6 chapters. So I would request you can read the whole purport. And then we'll discuss in detail. Please read the purport.
Purport. In the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the nature of Krishna is fully described. Krishna is full in all opulences, and how he manifests such opulences is described herein. Also, 4 kinds of fortunate people who become attached to Krishna, and 4 kinds of unfortunate people who never take to Krishna are described in this chapter. In the first 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, the living entity has been described as non-material spirit soul capable of elevating himself to self-realization by different types of yogas. At the end of the 6th chapter, it has been clearly stated that the steady concentration of the mind upon Krishna, or in other words, Krishna consciousness, is the highest form of all yoga. By concentrating one's mind upon Krishna, one is able to know the absolute truth completely, but not otherwise. Impersonal Brahmajyoti or localized Paramatma realization is not perfect knowledge of the absolute truth, because it is partial. Full and scientific knowledge is Krishna, and everything is revealed to the person in Krishna consciousness. In complete Krishna consciousness, one knows that Krishna is ultimate knowledge beyond any doubts. Different types of yoga are only stepping stones on the path of Krishna consciousness. One who takes directly to Krishna consciousness automatically knows about Brahmajyoti and Paramatma in full. By practice of Krishna consciousness yoga, one can know everything in full, namely the absolute truth, the living entities, the material nature, and their manifestations with paraphernalia. One should therefore begin yoga practice as directed in the last verse of the 6th chapter. Concentration of the mind upon Krishna, the Supreme, is made possible by prescribed devotion service in 9 different forms, of which Sravanam is the first and the most important. The Lord therefore says to Arjuna, Tat Shrunu, or hear from me. No one can be a greater authority than Krishna, and therefore, by hearing from him, one receives the greatest opportunity to become perfectly Krishna conscious person. One has therefore to learn from Krishna directly, or from a pure devotee of Krishna, and not from a non-devotee upstart, puffed up with academic education. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, this process of understanding Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the absolute truth, is described in 2nd chapter of the 1st canto as follows. Srinvatam Sakatam Krishna Punya Sravana Kirtana Udantasto Avadrani Vidnoti Suhrusatam Nashtaprayesu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kama Lobhadayas Chaye Chetayete Anavidim Stitam Sattve Prasidati Evam Prasanna Manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha Bhagavad Tattva Vijnanam Mukta Sangasya Jayate Vidyate Hridaya Grandhis Chidyante Sarva Samsaya Siyante Chasya Karmani Rasta Evatmani Sware. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures or to hear from him directly to the Bhagavad Gita, it is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, act as a best wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotion service of the Lord. By development of devotion service, one becomes freed from the modes of passion and ignorance, and thus material lust and avarice are diminished. When these impurities are wiped away, the candidate remains steady in his position of pure goodness, becomes enlivened by devotion service, and understand the science of God perfectly. Thus, Bhakti Yoga severs the hard knot of material affection and enables one to come at once to the stage of Asamsayam Samagram, understanding of the supreme absolute truth, personality of Godhead. Therefore, only by hearing from Krishna or from his devotee in Krishna consciousness can one understand the science of Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
In this way, actually, this whole realization comes gradually. That is the whole focus. So in the chapter number 6, last verse, Krishna tells about now one who abides with me in faith. And I'll just read the translation. Of all the yogis, the one with great faith who always abides in me, thinks of me within himself and renders transcendental loving service to me. He is the most intimately united with me in yoga and is highest of all. That's my opinion. So then Arjuna has a question. Which type of devotee are you talking about? So Arjuna gets this question. So then Lord says, when you say type of devotee, this particular personality, even if he is not qualified, will become qualified in due course of time. But main thing is, Mai Asakta Mana. So gradually this person will become purified. And that's why Prabhupada has mentioned all these verses of Saranatam Swakatha Krishna. Everything begins by hearing. So Punna Sravan Kirtana Hidan Tatsuya Badrani Vidhanodi Sukhatam. All the dirty things in the heart are cleansed. Nas Price of Badresu Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya, Bhagavati Uttama Shloki Bhakti Bhavati Nashki. So like all the stages, basically on 9 devotional service or 9 stages of devotional service are mentioned in these verses. They all happen gradually. And the example which is given in 11th canto is the example of Bhakti Parisana Bhava Viraktir Anatra Chaya Satra Kek Kalaha Prapadamanas Yatha Sasnasur Tushti Pushti Sudapaya Anugasam. So example is given is, as we take morsel of food, what happens? 3 things we get. Tushti, one gets a satisfaction. Pushti, one gets nourishment. And Sudapaya means one gets rid of hunger. Nobody has to come and give a certificate. We realize all these 3 things. Similarly, as we practice bhakti, 3 things happen. First one is bhakti. Bhakti means it gives satisfaction to the heart. That bhakti bhavana, it becomes more and more as we progress in spiritual life. Second thing is par is anubhav. Par is anubhav means one is able to see hand of Krishna in each and everything. Presence of Krishna is more felt in our own lives. Par is anubhav. And third thing is virakti. Virakti means one gets rid of the material desires. So they happen gradually. So tushti is compared to bhakti. Pushti means nourishment of the body, one becomes healthy. That's compared to paris and bhav, realizing Krishna. And sudapaya means getting rid of hunger is compared to getting rid of material desires. So they all happen gradually, but they will happen gradually only if one takes at least a morsel of food, not 1 grain of food. It's not that now one takes 1 rice. Oh, am I getting satisfaction? Am I, is my hunger going away? So there's too less. At least eat a morsel of rice and dal or rice or sambar. Then you can talk about whether you are getting satisfaction and hunger is going away. Not just taking 1 grain of rice. That's why Krishna used the word Mai Asakta Mana. At least now your mind should be absorbed in me. Not that now, little bit bhakti, you came and chanted 1 round, oh, am I going to see Krishna? Are tears coming from my eyes? So in the beginning days, no, somebody tells you to chant more rounds, tears may come from the eyes. Not as by chanting one gets tears from the eyes. So at least some things one should do to Mai Asakta Mana. One's mind is attached to Krishna. So Lord says that. So that's why he uses this word Mai Asakta Mana. So what type of yoga is this? So what type of yoga this is? Yogam Yunjan Madasraya. In that one takes shelter of Krishna alone, no karma, no jnana. That means he's talking about pure devotion service. It makes clear. So this 7th verse, it's not talking about Pradhani Buddha Bhakti, it's not talking about Gaudiya Buddha Bhakti, it's talking about Suddha Bhakti. So one takes shelter of the Supreme Lord alone. Yogam Yunjan Mad Asraya. It's not talking about Asraya of Brahman, Asraya of some demigod. No, Asraya of Supreme Lord only. Or Asraya of our own efforts. So that's talking about Ananda Bhakti. So that makes it very clear that it's not talking about those who want to enter Brahman. They have a lot of difficulties, not about them. It's talking only about the Supreme Lord. So somebody practice such a bhakti, what happens? Samagram. One will completely understand the Supreme Lord. Not partially. Like Brahmavadis understand only partial aspect of the Supreme Lord, Brahman. Those who say Paramatma only aspect the indwelling super soul within everyone's heart. But devotee understands Brahman also, Paramatma also, Bhagavan also, all three. So, Samagram. So this is the result of pure devotion service. One can understand Krishna fully, one can establish relationship with Krishna. But it begins with simple process of hearing. Just by hearing. Okay. Now we'll go to second verse. Second verse also basically Krishna is continuing with almost the same theme. Okay, and Chakravarti Pada also said that now that Asakta Mana is for Lord Shyam Sundar, Krishna. So that devotee understand both personal and impersonal aspects. Now second one. Jnanam te hamsa vijnanam idam vakshami sesata yach gyatva nehi bhuyo anyaj gyatavyam avasisyate. Please read translation.
I shall now declare unto you in full this knowledge, both phenomenal and numinous. This being known, nothing further shall remain for you to know.
The Lord says, before attaining such a asakti, such attachment for me, devotees get jnanam, they understand the Lord. Understanding the Lord means understanding the power of the Lord. Like Prabhupada would often say, everybody says God is great, but they don't know how great God is. That's why many people will find, they say that we are believers in God, we are astic, we are not nastic. We are believers in God. But then they make any fool into a God. One fellow walks on the wheelchair and he says that I'm Kalki. And there are so many people who believe that he's Kalki. So here we are supposed to take shelter of the Supreme Lord, and this fellow is taking shelter of a wheelchair. And people say he's God. So the problem is people don't understand what is meaning of God. So that's why they don't have even jnanam. They don't understand what is meaning of God. Like one man came to Prabhupada and he said that, no, Swamiji, no, I am God. So Prabhupada said that, no, I am Queen of England. And he said, no, impossible. How can you be Queen of England? Then Prabhupada said that if I can't be Queen of England, how can you be God? Do you understand what is God, as compared to Queen of England? Or one fellow came and he was saying that, no, Swami, I don't know why I feel that, no, I am the one who has created this planets and the stars and the moon and this and that. And he practically gave a long lecture in between the Prabhupada's lecture. So Prabhupada said, are you tired? He said, yes. So Prabhupada, okay, then sit down. Other time he said that, okay, you are feeling like that. Anyway, everybody feels like that. It's not something very great. So you may feel like that, but you are not the one who does you are not doing all these things. So the point is, people don't understand what is Gyan. Gyan means understanding the powers of the Lord. Not just knowing God is great, knowing how great the God is. That's called Jnana. And Vijnana means realizing the sweetness of the Lord also. That although He's so great, but then He's ready to serve His devotees. He's ready to be defeated by His devotees' love. What is that verse? Yasodayaganamurukalena Gokante pase nibadmanam Turodamannam navanita bhoji Govinda damodara madhaveti. So this verse says Yasodayaganamurukalena. In the grinding mortar, Ukhal. What Yasoda is doing? Gokante pase nibadmanam. She is binding Krishna by the rope used to tie the calf. Gokanta pasane vadavana. And what Krishna is doing? Rurota mandam navanita bhoji. So he is crying. Why? Because he has done a crime. What is the crime? He has stolen the butter. So the Lord, who is maker of the rules, he is caught and is punished. The Lord, from whom even the fear personified is fearful. Yamaraj is fearful. He's become fearful of his devotee, Yasoda. That's the sweetness of the Lord. Ordinary child is crying. No, anyway, all the children cry. What is so great? But Supreme Lord is crying. Hare Krishna, yeah. But Supreme Lord is crying is something special. It's something different. So that is the sweetness of the Lord. So Jnanam and Vijnanam. And Lord says, if you know Jnanam and Vijnanam, you know the greatness of the Lord, you know the sweetness of the Lord, nothing else remains to be known. That's why when we read scriptures, these two should be focused. Know about the greatness of Krishna, know about the sweetness of Krishna. Knowing about both these things. And if we know this, automatically understanding of Paramatma aspect of the Lord, Brahman aspect of the Lord, they all are included in that. Okay, so these two, Jnanam and Vijnanam. Now, how rare is this knowledge? Lord speaks in text number 3, especially about the sweetness of the Lord, how it is so rare. Manusyanam sahastresu kasyat yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin mam veti tattvatah. Please read the translation.
Out of many thousands among men, one may endeavor for perfection, and of those who have achieved perfection, hardly one knows me in truth.
Now Lord is saying that how his sweetness is so rare. Manusyanam sahastresu. That means among thousands of humans. Now, when it comes to humans, even human life is so rare. Among countless jivas, one may get a human body. It is said the chances of getting human body is as rare if you throw some tire in Pacific Ocean. And there is a turtle who is beneath the ocean. He tries to come out of the ocean. How much is the probability that when this turtle comes out of the ocean, he will come out of the tire? That's the rarity of human form of life. Because he can come out of any place. He's come out of the tire. We can understand this fact just from our own analysis. Our whole body is filled with so many souls. So many bacteria are there, viruses are there inside our body. If you see these WBCs, how they fight with the different bacteria and viruses, You can see some video in the YouTube, lot of videos are there. It's very clear they are separate entities. They all have a soul. Each cell has a soul. There is a living cell and a dead cell. And how many cells we have in the body? We are the predominating soul within this human body. So within this body itself, the soul who is predominant in the human body is so rare. So we can understand how rare is the human body, human form of life. What to say of no, so much space where there is no body at all. But soul is everywhere, sarvgataha. So rare is the human body. So among countless jivas, one may get a human body. And then Manusyanam Sahastresu. Among thousands of such jivas, kaschit yadidi siddhaye. That means one is worried about spiritual progress. Most of the people, they don't think beyond eating, sleeping, mating, defending. I remember when my maternal grandmother passed away. So she was like, she would worship Lord Ram, and she practically last half an hour she was chanting Ram Ram, and then she departed from this world. So quite a pious lady. But when I went her, when she departed, so in the home we know that functions are there. So there I went. So a lot of ladies were talking and disturbing the religious functions also. So then my mother's brother and my mother, they were telling, you preach to these ladies, you tell them something, unnecessarily they're wasting time. So then I started giving class on how we are not body, we are souls, and death can come at any time, and bhakti is so important and all these things. And then still they started talking among themselves. They were doing some side talk. I told, what are you talking? And then they said, we are talking about the misfortune which has come upon your head. I said, what misfortune has come to me? Such a boy from IIT, he has renounced the whole world, and he has become a sadhu, useless fellow. And I'm just talking about death. No, anybody can die anytime. And don't talk all nonsense, Then I thought, okay, let me logically try to explain them. So I said, okay, if I would have gone to IIT, what would I have done? And what would you have done? You would have got married anyway. After passing from IIT, if I would have got a job and I would have got married, what I would have done? You would have got married, such a nice life. You would be having a house, you would be having children, and you would be having, so much of opulence and such a nice life. And after that, what after that? That is only life. That is everything. I told sometimes death also comes. I don't talk about nonsense, You don't understand what is the pleasure of family life. So they were so convinced. I thought if I stay with them for longer, I may become convinced of their philosophy. So sometimes some people think there is nothing beyond that. They can't even think beyond that. So that's why people who try for spiritual progress are also pretty rare. Those who can think beyond eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. So it's not so easy to find them. So even karmis, jnanis, yogis, it's like, I'm saying out not karmis, but karmi yogis, jnani yogis, they are also very less. They're very rare. But among such 1,000 spiritual workers, yatatam api siddhanam, kashin me veti tattva, one is very rare that he may realize me in truth. So that's devotee. So one who realizes Lord as Shyam Sundar, personification of bliss, getting personal realization of the Lord, understanding that how pleasure of bhakti is 1,000 times, million times greater than the pleasure of Brahman. So one who understands that, realizes that, is very, 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 very rare. So that's what Lord is saying, that what I have spoken in text number 1 or text number 2 about understanding sweetness, such people are very, very rare. And Prabhupada writes, you can read the second paragraph. Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes, the primal Lord Govinda, Iswara Parama Krishna, Sachidananda Vigraha, Anadiradir Govinda, Sarva Karana Karanam. It is very difficult for the non-devotee to know him. Although non-devotees declare that the path of bhakti or devotion service is very easy, they cannot practice it. If the path of bhakti is so easy, as the non-devotee class of men proclaim, then why do they take up the difficult path? Actually, the path of bhakti is not easy. The so-called path of bhakti practiced by unauthorized persons without knowledge of bhakti may be easy. But when it is practiced factually according to the rules and regulation, the speculative scholars and philosophers fall away from the path. Srila Rupa Goswami writes in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Sruti Smriti Puranadi Pancharatra Vidhi Vina Aikantihir Arer Bhaktir Utpata Eva Kalpate. Devotion service of the Lord that ignores the authorized Vedic literatures like the Upanishads, Puranas, and Narada Pancharatra is simply an unnecessary disturbance in society. It is
Very good. Yes. So basically, Prabhupada is talking about that bhakti is rare. So-called bhakti many people do. Like you ask outside anyone, please chant Hare Krishna. Says, Swamiji, what to say of now chanting Hare Krishna? It's always going on inside. Andar hi andar chalta rehta hai. If it is going inside, so sometimes come outside also. And we found now, like one Mataji was telling, andar chalta rehta hai. And then some devotees surrounded her. Tell Mataji, at least you should chant one round. And then because all the devotees are forcing from other side, she said, okay, at least now what is inside will come out at least for one round. After chanting one round, she said, my God, it's so tough to chant one round. Because you sit down and now you have to be attentive. So the point is, all the bhakti is very easy, but when one does according to rules and regulations, people who are committed to follow rules and regulations are very less. That's why all the devotees who are preaching must be having an experience. Initially, we get a very big crowd. But in due course of time, very few people commit to chant 2 rounds, 4 rounds, 6 rounds, and then what to say 16 rounds. So number becomes lesser and lesser. But the point is, chanting whimsically or practicing whimsically is very easy. But doing things in an authorized way is not that easy. It's not that easy. So that's why it's very, very rare. Okay, Narasimha Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhu, in this verse you mentioned Manishyanam Sahasreshu. So here, this when you say Manishyanam, it is all Jivas, no Prabhu, men and women. Specifically, why it is mentioned as out of many thousands among men. So I mean, it's an example or like it's both, no Prabhu, men, women, everyone.
See, when scripture say men, it refers to women also. See, why the word men is, see, one thing is men is anyway English word. It's not like Manusya includes men and women both. But generally, even sometimes scriptures, they are referring to men, they are also referring to women also. And the reason why it is given man is because in this world, everybody thinks I am a man, whether it's women think I am a man. Means everybody thinks that I am the enjoyer. So that's why scriptures, many times they use the word man is to refer that, oh, so-called enjoyers, these are instructions for you. Okay. So that's what it means. Okay.
Okay.
Kalan Prabhu had sent something on this. Bhakti refers to Vishnu. It's very clear. It's Vishnu only. There's no question of bhakti for demigods.
Including Shiva, right? Pancharatva worshipping is there, right? Kali and
Anyone.
Okay.
Bhakti means only Vishnu. Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smarnam. Very clearly Prahlad Maharaj says that bhakti is for Vishnu, no one else. Otherwise, so many people say so many things. Some people say, no, I am a bhakta of some cricketer. Some people say I'm bhakta of some actor and actresses. South Indian will find a lot of bhaktas of
Ayyappa Bhaktis. Lot of Ayyappa Bhaktis in South India.
They are also there. A lot of Rajinikanth bhaktas are also there.
Yes.
So then they are not called bhaktas. We are talking about a bhakti of Vishnu only.
Now the trend is Sai Bhakti.
No other. Okay. Okay. Now Krishna starts talking about the Gyan or Lord's powers. So verse 3 talked about both Gyan and Vigyan, how understanding sweetness of Lord is so rare. But Lord says begins with his powers. But how powerful is the Lord? So he talks about his energies. Bhumirapo analo vayu man kham mano buddhir evacha ahankariti yamme bhinna prakritirastada. Please read the translation.
The water, fire, air, either mind, intelligence, and false ego. Altogether, these 8 constitute my separated material energies.
So these are Krishna is talking about his material energies by which we understand the greatness of the Lord. Why? Because entire world is pervaded by this material energy. Shrina, you want to understand how much money I have? So then one may show one's bank account. One may show one's bungalow. One may show one's land and property. But what Krishna is saying is, you want to know my opulence? Everything you are seeing belongs to me only. This is my power. So this shows about greatness of Krishna. It's like that's the meaning of God. Like if I have 5 fingers, one finger, let us say, as a silver ring, second as a gold ring, third as a diamond ring, fourth one may have a, let's say, ruby, fifth one may have a pearl. And all of them can claim that I'm the proprietor of this ring. But the body says all 5 belong to me. Similarly, all the wealth which we have, all the property which we have, we are custodians for some time. We claim a house or a land for some time, we claim some money for some time. But actually speaking, we are custodians only for some time. That's why Bhishmadev, when Yudhishthira Maharaj tells Bhishmadev to fight from his side, Bhishmadev says, what to do, I am bound. Because I have taken payment from Duryodhana. So he says, money is no one's servant. Everybody is servant of money. It's only under illusion people think money is my servant. Oh, I have money, I can purchase this, that, and I can enjoy. No. Money is no one's servant. Everybody is servant of money. So because I have taken service from this money, I have taken money from Duryodhana, I have to fight from his side. Of course, the real reason is because he was in Veeraras with Krishna. That was the actual reason. Because he wanted to fight with Krishna or give pleasure of fighting to Krishna. But then, even from a dharma point of view, the reason he gave this to the Lord. And in the purport, Prabhupada talks about all the 24 elements. So, what can be done is, you can read the paragraph. Just read the last paragraph.
In the material energy, the principal manifestations are 8. As above mentioned, out of these, the first 5 manifestations, namely earth, water, fire, air, and sky, are called the 5 gigantic creations or the gross creations, within which the 5 sense objects are included. They are the manifestations of physical sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. Material science comprises these 10 items and nothing more. But the other 3 items, namely mind, intelligence, and false ego, are neglected by the materialists. Philosophers who deal with mental activities are also not perfect in knowledge because they do not know the ultimate source, Krishna. The false ego, I am and it is mine, which constitutes the basic principle of material existence, includes 10 sense organs for material activities. Intelligence refers to the total material creation called the Mahatattva. Therefore, from the 8 separated energies of the Lord are manifest the 24 elements of the material world, which are the subject matter of Sankhya atheistic philosophy. They are originally offshoots from Krishna's energies and are separated from him. But atheistic Sankhya philosophers, with a poor fund of knowledge, do not know Krishna as the cause of all causes. The subject matter for discussion is in the Sankhya philosophy is only the manifestation of the external energy of Krishna, as it is described in the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
So in this particular verse, Krishna talks about basically the earth, water, fire, air, ether, mind, and ego, only 8. But there are 24 elements. For those who understand Hindi, I would recommend now you can go to my channel and you can hear 3.26. I'm giving like Bhagavatam verse by verse also. So you can read, you can hear the lecture of Srimad Bhagavatam 3.26. And for English also I have given classes, but other people have stored it. I'll try to find it. Because unless and until you know 24 elements, there would be a lot of discussion of 24 elements in the middle 6 chapters also and in the last 6 chapters also. So if you have good understanding of the 26 elements, that would be better. And chapter number 26 of third canto, it is given very elaborately. So there I have spoken very elaborately. But only thing is, many of you are Telugu speaking, so you may have tough time. So I'll try to find an English one. I already spoke about 24 elements elaborately, but I have to search from the person or the people from to whom I talked about 24 elements. So I'll tell this concisely here how there are 24 elements. So we have earth, anything solid in this body is made up of earth. Water, anything liquid in this body is made up of water. We have fire in the body also. That gives us temperature, that helps us to digest. We have air in the body, 10 types of air are there, prana, pan, vyan, udan, saman, dhananja, etc. Because of that, all the movements in the body are going on. Then we have ether. Ether means thing which occupies the space, because we all are occupying some space. So that's why somebody tries to come very close to us, we understand he's trying to becoming too much personal. So then we either we move back or we keep that person away, because we all occupy some space. And that's called basically called Akash. Ether is not a very good word, but what to do? English is a Malaysian language. We don't have a very good words in English. So they don't identify ether. So Akash. So these are the 5 gross elements. Then 5 objects of the senses are there. For eye, there is a form. For nose, there is a earth. From earth comes actually sense of smell. So sense of smell is there. Then there is sound for the ears. There taste for the tongue. There touch for the skin. So sound, touch, form, taste, and smell. These are 5 sense objects. Okay, so 5 plus 5, 10. Then there are 10 senses. What are 10 senses? 5 Gyanendriyas are there: eyes, nose, tongue, skin, ears. These are Gyanendriyas. Gyanendriyas means knowledge acquiring senses. We acquire the knowledge of the world through these 5 senses. So this is called Gyanendriyas. And then there are 5 Karmendriyas by which we work. So what are the hands, legs? We work with the hands, we work with the legs. Then we have vocal cord. See, tongue has 2 functions. Tongue as a tasting agent is called Gyanendriya, because by that we acquire knowledge. But when tongue is used for speaking, it comes in the category of Karmendriya. Because we convey or do the things via media of talking. So 3, hands, legs, the speaking system. And then we have rectum and genitals, by which we throw off the waste of this body. So these 5 are called Karmendriyas. So 10 plus 10, 20. Now there are 4 more which are situated in the region of heart. 4 elements are there. What are they? Mind, intelligence, ego, and then there is the 4th element that's called Chitta. Chitta is one which helps the living entity to identify with matter. Ego helps the living entity to identify with various material designations. By intelligence, one has memory, sleep, etc. There are different functions that I have spoken more elaborately in that class. Different things are there. But primarily we say that apprehension, misapprehension, etc. is done by intelligence. And mind is the one which is the work of sankalpa vikalpa, accepting things or rejecting things. Accept this, reject that. So this is the work of mind. So like there are 24 elements.
Chitta, once again.
Chitta is one which helps a person to identify with matter itself. Because soul is spiritual in nature. So unless until one identifies the matter, one will not accept a designation also. So that helps us to identify with matter. So there are 24 elements. Apart from that, we have soul and super soul. They also reside in the region of heart. Okay. So there are 24 elements. And so devotees who want to hear, those who can understand Hindi can hear my class on 3.26. So this is from my channel. And for English, I'll try to find it out and I'll try to post in the WhatsApp group. So we'll end here. Bhagavad Gita ki, Sri Gopad ki, Tagore Premanande.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. Take time to get